Hello, students. I'm going to walk you through the extended bibliography assignment in depth and give you some important highlights. This is the first step to completing your APA case study analysis paper, which is due at the end of the semester. Now, what are the expectations for this assignment? You are creating an extended bibliography in APA 7th edition. Now, many of you are new to APA 7th edition, and that's totally fine. I'm going to be going over APA 7th edition in way more detail over the course of the unit, so you have nothing to be afraid of. Your extended bibliography is going to consist of 30 different sources. Notice how I've just said extended bibliography. It is not an extended annotated bibliography assignment. You do not have to create annotations for every single one of your sources. You don't have to create any. You are just doing a lot of research and gathering these articles, social media posts, etc., and citing them in APA 7th edition. Now, I said 30. The first 20 of your sources are going to be primary sources, and these are going to come from social media. All of social media counts as a primary source. No one is editing social media. No one is going in and editing something that you post on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, right? It is raw material. And so an example of a primary source is if you are doing Taylor Swift's Twitter feed as your case study, then you are going to look at Twitter, look at her feed, and if she has posted something, then that counts as a primary source. Let's say that she has 5,000 comments to that one post. Every single comment individually counts as a primary source. Okay, so hopefully that makes that number of 20 seem a little bit less overwhelming. After you have found 20 posts from social media itself and have cited those, then you're going to find 5 secondary credible sources about your case study. In the example that I just gave, you are going to find 5 different articles, whether they be from a newspaper, magazine, what have you, about Taylor Swift. Sometimes you will be able to find really specific articles that talk about your case study, like articles that talk about Taylor Swift's Twitter feed. Okay, but it's not necessary. You just have to find 5 articles that relate to the person, the event, the movement, the boycott, the protest, whatever it is you're talking about. After you've done that, your last step is finding 5 scholarly articles that talk about social media in general. Okay, nothing specific here. There are plenty of researchers and scientists that have looked at social media in depth and have found its positive effects, its negative effects, and so on. And so you are going to be finding whatever they have to say about social media in general. Now, what does this look like? Let me give you a more visual example. If I scroll down, then a primary source would be considered a tweet on Twitter, just like the Taylor Swift example that I gave before. In this case, we have a gentleman named Jay Goldman, and he posted that POTUS to address the nation tonight at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, and this was posted on May 1st, 2011. It has 149 retweets and 38 likes. His post counts as one primary source. And at face value, this doesn't really seem to be that important. However, this was the night before Osama bin Laden was actually killed. So it's actually very important if my case study is going to be Osama bin Laden's death. Then you're going to be finding secondary sources. Okay, these are news articles, magazine articles, blogs, things like that. And then these are sources in which nobody can just go in and edit. Okay, these are professional, credible sources, like from CNN, the New York Times, the Washington Post, magazines, things like that. Where professionals are writing reviews or are giving their 2 cents about things. In this case, we have John D. Sutter from CNN talking about how bin Laden news spread on Twitter. And this would be considered to be a secondary source that is quite useful if your case study is Osama bin Laden's death. I hope that gives you a little more knowledge about what you're going to be investigating and what types of sources you're going to be gathering for your extended bibliography. If you still have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to reach out to me via email. See you next time.